All right, all right, all right, all right, Roscoe's sweatsuit. We have watched Rezero, season 2, episode 16. What are your thoughts?
My mind is blown. There's just so many more questions that I have, man. Also, what was up with that belly button? What was up with the belly button power? Belly button pow.
Oh yeah, what's called? Yeah, it's yes. This episode has just like thrown even more questions at my way. Yeah, so I guess we could start there. I don't know. Let's start from the beginning. All right. No, let's start here. Let's start here. Like, yeah, Subaru has is able to use the soft factor in his body now. And I don't know, like, when he uses it, he kind of like talks about like how the witch of Kidna had like something to do with this. But yeah, I am surprised. He is the new Trembly guy now. He can do his power.
Beetlejuice?
Is his name
Yeah.
Beetlejuice? Oh yeah, he's the new Beetlejuice. I think he calls his power the what was it called? I think it's called the Invisible Province. That's what he called it.
It was either the invisible or the divine providence.
One of those. I don't know which one, but someone will find out and tell us in the comments, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, the divine providence. Where's his disciple book? Where is his gospel?
I don't know. Like, I think so. Okay, I still have to trace this. Subaru has this soft factor in them. He has talked to the Witch of Greed. He is loved by the Witch of Envy. Right, and it's weird that like normally in a show like these things would like connect. I guess like it would be like, hey, it's the envy factor, and then like he just met the Witch of Envy at first, but like making them like from different factions makes it sound weird. Like I don't understand like why or how Subaru like got the soul factor or why he deserves it. Why is he? Why is this factor called sloth? Right? Like I don't
Well,
understand.
he didn't say the sloth factor. He just said that he has that same power. But we've also seen the Witch of Envy use hands like that. He's not
Yeah,
Beetlejuice
yeah.
isn't the only character that has used the dark ghost hand thing.
Yeah, I thought they said it was. I thought they said it was like it was had to do with his soul factor that he could do that.
I don't remember hearing that.
Oh, I think he did because like I think he mentioned Echidna, and when he first met Echidna, she gave him the tea, and that tea was supposed to like mitigate his like soft factor in his body or whatever.
Hmm. There's too much to keep track of in this show. I was actually watching the first and second episode of this season, and to see if there was anything that I forgot. And there's just a lot to keep track of.
But yeah, what are your like your thoughts about him like getting this new power? Do you think this is like a way for like okay, I guess I can say my thing. I think it's just a way to like keep Subaru more into the actions and battles going forward in the show because it seems like the show is leading down a path where he's definitely gonna have to fight things and he needs like some way to defend himself because like he has been completely defenseless pretty much this whole show.
I think this is fine as long as they keep it to a minimum. I think part of the reason I enjoy the show is because it's not, and we've discussed this a few times. Nobody is that the show isn't a power fantasy, and I feel like if they added that factor, that would sort of mitigate some of the reasons why I like the show, where the character is very he is very what is the word I'm thinking of? He's very vulnerable at all times. I think that helps drive the interest for the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think giving him his powers could be it's interesting. I'm not against it. Yeah, I hope it doesn't become like don't get me wrong, I love like power fantasies, like I'm like big DBZ fan and fans of like other stuff where like, you can just like super powerful, you just always get stronger, and like that's a part of the show. Like that's the main part of the show is like watching these people get stronger. But I can kind of see why it might make sense for Subaru to get some type of power here because of like how devastatingly strong everyone is around him, right? We're actually like we're close to approaching a point of like if anyone that really wants Subaru dead should be able to kill him, uh, all the time, and he's like constantly getting thrown in situations where he has to like he's literally the guy to intervene and talk to the right people to like make it work. I could just imagine like if this like I don't know how long Rezero goes on, um, in the novel, like the web novel or whatever, but like if there's like an actual antagonist that's like after Subaru, I don't think there's any way like he could be in a loop of like assassin just killing him multiple times over and over.
Yeah, I think it is going to help him get rid of some of the needless repeats that he's had to do. I think that it is going to help him moving further on, just kind of as a wedge to keep him alive in a lot of the fights he's probably going to have. But let's not forget that he also has a super huge advantage of just coming back all the time. And so part of my worry is that like as long as they keep this power low, so they're not just making him OP, which seems kind of like the antithesis of the story, is him being like because he is kind of OP, but he's OP in a way that like makes him also extremely vulnerable and has a very harsh psychological consequence. If they just make him
Yeah,
able to forego that by just giving him stacks and stacks of like power boost, I don't know if it's going to be that interesting anymore.
yeah, yeah. I can see what you're saying. I understand. I think you're right. I think like I don't think it's gonna be a thing that's like going to be like Subaru's gonna be like taking on a whole bunch of challenges, just with by himself. And I think this is kind of like the point of this episode. Like I think when I can look up the name of the episode, but I think the name of the episode is like called like no one can lift a Alden stone alone or whatever. I don't know if that's the name. Let me look it up real quick. I think the name is fuck. What is that word? I don't even know how to say that. Give me a second. Oh, I'm gonna fuck this up, but whatever. I think it's called Nobody can lift a coin stone alone.
Yeah,
So yeah, like I don't think they're gonna give him enough power where it's like he's not gonna need people, because like I feel like that's why the whole show like that's a lot of like what the whole show is about where it's like Subaru needs to depend on people and trust people to like get things done. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in this power. I'm interested in an explanation for the power. Going back to like one of your other points, where it's like I think like his ability to like come back from death is OP, but like I like the reason why I like the show so much is like yes, that ability is super OP, but it's super devastating to him mentally in a lot of ways. Um, Throughout the series, like being able to die has not become any easier to Subaru since the beginning of the show. Like he still kind of fucking hates it. It's something that is always like he tries to push off to the last resort. It's something that he doesn't want to do, and I think that's like a very cool perspective to like have, because like it's very different from other shows that like would that takes the like I can come back from death trope or whatever. Like all you need is kill, right? Where it's like, hey, it becomes very video gamey. But like in Subaru's case, it's like always pretty bad when he dies. It's always like takes a big toll on him. in a way, at least from what we have seen in the show so far.
Yeah. Um, Now that we've had discussion about Subaru's powers, why don't we talk about the fight between Subaru and our boy? The fuck is his name? Um,
And you just don't remember his name at all. It's Garfield. He's the orange cat.
yes, Garfield and the boy that hates Mondays.
um, yeah, it's interesting. I guess before we even tackle that, what do you think of Garfield's flashback? Because we get another flashback in this show, and it's about Garfield and his first time taking the trial.
Dude, I am so glad they just pulled him being like 14 out of their ass. I'm like, I hate it at the same time, but I'm it like kind of smoothed things over because I could not understand this dude's rationale at all. And before I thought it was pretty inexcusable. I'm like, you just want to beat people up and hold everyone back just because of what? You are you have like some attachment issues that haven't been resolved because you're like, I don't know. It was just very like seemed very childish, and it makes sense when they revealed that he was like 14.
Yeah, I think so like when I initially watched the flashback that happens at the beginning of the show, seeing him do the child when he was like a super young kid, I was like, damn, this really fucked him up. It was like something super traumatic that happened when he was a small kid. And then like his rationality of like this like kind of attachment abandonment issue he has to like he wants to make sure everyone stays in the world to be safe or whatever makes more sense because he is that young, and like the thing that happened to him happened super young too, right? Like I think it's like a not a bad explanation. It still comes off of like uh man, Garfield's like a angsty nihilist to me, you know what I'm saying? uh at least like before we knew all this stuff um that was like revealed in this episode. Before all that stuff, before we watched this episode, I was like, yeah, Garfield just seems like just like angsty nihilist all the time. Doesn't want to do shit. Doesn't want to go anywhere. He likes his little box.
Yeah, that would be cool if he didn't like murder like hundreds of people just to achieve that goal. Like I don't know. I think that's what made it like.
Sure.
I think I was hoping for a rationale of like, oh, that would make you like, just kill an entire town's worth of people. But it all came down to, hey, my mom left me off in this woods, and I want to keep everyone in these woods, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to one never have to deal with like that initial trauma that I had to face, and two to make sure like everyone is stuck in this wall or in this. Well, I keep saying the wall. This isn't Attack on Titan. Stuck in this forest.
Yeah, he's the wall. Garfield's
You're
the
right. He
wall.
is the wall. He said so himself.
Um, but yeah, so this kind of leads into the fight. Yeah, I think that fight makes sense because like Subaru's just kind of saying like, hey, you gotta tell me what's wrong with you, bro. Like, I ain't gonna be able to fix this if you're not telling me what's happening or whatever. Kind of like breaks through to him. I like how like even in this fight, Subaru still had to get help, right? Still can't win one alone.
Yeah. It's okay. What was up with the crystal thing? Because I watched the second episode and I couldn't. So I know that Garfield's sister, what is her name?
Frederica.
Yeah, Frederica. I know Garfield's sister Frederica gives them one amulet. I'm assuming maybe they got more, but like the only one I saw that she gave one of them. And I'm no eventually at some point she gives they get Frederica's jewel amulet that allows them to go through the forest. But it's not really explained why that amulet was able to cancel out uh, Garfield's powers.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Like, and like the amulet spoke afterwards, right? And it was like to me, I don't know. Was that Puck? Did Puck
I
say
couldn't
that?
tell
That sounds like a
if it
Puck
was
thing to say.
Puck or Beatrice or Frederica. It didn't really sound to me too much like Frederica. You're right. I think it sounded either like Puck or Beatrice.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know exactly how that worked. Yeah, because he just like jabs it into his forearm and it's like it's cancel its powers. He hit him with it's like a strong debuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's one of like my issues with the show is that they're not very good with callbacks, especially like when they seem to be very important to the show. Like I think that's a good example of like something that probably needed a callback other than just saying like this was your sister's amulet. Like I don't think anywhere
Mhm.
it is explained in enough depth that hey, if you stab somebody with this, they will revert back to their initial form if they're a beast person. Because like if they
Yeah.
would have said like, um, if you have on this amulet, you can't turn into a beast, and Garfield didn't have the amulet on, so that was the reason why he could turn into a beast. Like that would make sense, but like we haven't seen anything of like having this thing on or like having it on your skin affects your ability to turn into a beast. It seems like the exact opposite because Garfield has his thing on all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, the only thing I could think about is like again, maybe the movies have something to explain of this, or maybe there's something in that scene when he goes back to the mansion and like the time he goes back to the mansion and pretty much him and all the time he gets stabbed in the eye, pretty much maybe explain it has it tells you there. I don't remember any of that happening, but I agree. Like I can't tell you why it worked or why it worked, but maybe this is just something that is like a content that's not here or explained in the
Yeah,
anime. Maybe it was like more detailed in like the web novel or even in the like light novel. Um,
yeah, and this could just be a problem of having a cancel, not a cancellation, having a hiatus in between the seasons, like not being able to
yeah,
remember like everything that happened in the original first half. Or you're right, it could just be maybe a callback to something that might have been in the comics or in the web novel that just didn't make it into the show. Or it could just be a Deus Ex Machina that the writer just pulled straight out of his ass.
hey man, it's yeah, it could be that. Could be that he or she could have been like, how does Subaru not die here? And he doesn't. Dang, I still have to watch the movies. But yeah, I'm gonna do it one day. But yeah, maybe there's explanation somewhere in content that we haven't seen. That's all I'm just trying to say.
Hmm.
I guess like talking about like while we're talking about this fight and Garfield like talking about his feelings and like what has happened to him and stuff like that. What do you like? So like the kind of conclusion of this is like Garfield kind of admits and finds out that his mother like loves him. His mother's loved him very much, even though like he might have not thought that way or whatever, but like his mother loved him very much or whatever. And she just kind of throws out like, yeah, I'm kind of leaving to get your dad and kind of bring him back, I guess. I don't know if she said she's bringing him back, but she was leaving to get his dad. Um I guess like do you think that string of like what he said about like Garfield's dad is gonna like become something important in the show later? Do you think Garfield's dad is gonna be like some type of big bad later in the show or something like that?
For sure. That or he is the beast person from the raid from the whale raid.
Ooh, ooh, that would be interesting.
Either way, I really hope Garfield does not become a mainstay of this show because I really don't like him. I cannot say it enough how just that was such dumb reasoning. it doesn't qualify murdering a whole town's full of people. Like I can kind of understand like Otto is like Otto. Hey, I didn't get myself into this, but you brought me on what feels like a death trap, so you can like just die. Or like Rim had a decent enough reason to kill Super. Like everyone that kills Subaru has like an understandable reason. He has a witch factor. He has the smell of the witch. Like for all intents and purposes, he just screams sketch in the world. But but Garfield murdered a bunch of townsfolk, and nothing is gonna help me get past that.
He was so sad, Roscoe. He was like my mom, and now if anyone tries to leave here, I'm going to murder you.
It was just the most Sasuke thing to do ever.
It comes off as very Sasuke of like, dog, I get you're upset, but like this seems a little bit much. You have to kill the whole village, all those people that you were talking to. There's out bat. They like half those people didn't even talk to you. They didn't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah. I mean, much like you could at least save the Ichiraku ramen guy. I mean, he actually made you food. He fed you when you were hungry, and you were gonna murder him and everybody else. At least save the Noodle Man.
Noodle Man did nothing wrong. Oh snap. Okay, so I guess so what do you think about like is it, what is like Garfield and Ram? Am I saying it right? Is it Ram or Ram?
Ram.
It's Ram, right? Ram's the pink haired one.
Yes. Rem is everybody's favorite waifu in this show.
Ram is the twin sister of the favorite waifu, Rem.
Yeah.
Okay, but
You're
yeah,
asking what did I make of like their relationship? Because I guess it's nothing now.
yeah.
Because
What do you?
he's 14,
Yeah,
and from what I've looked, Ram is like definitely like almost an adult.
yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was weirded out by that, especially with the information that he gave at the story, at the end of the story. So I was like, I don't know. Like, was it supposed to be like, hey, this is kind of like a sister brother thing, or like a mother bro son thing? But I don't know. Like, it doesn't come off of that way. It seems kind of inappropriate.
Well, I don't think it was inappropriate. I think it was like because it's not really what's the word? It's not really returned. I think it just comes off as like a just a boy crush sort of thing.
Okay. All right, okay, I can see
And I
that.
think we were all like
Yeah.
kind of like what like okay, like when we all thought like hey he's like probably the same age as everybody else in the show. They're like yeah she doesn't seem to be giving him the time of the day. She's really simping for this clown guy. And now we kind of know why.
Yeah, man. She's into older dudes that wear makeup.
Yes, that does seem to be the case. Man, if she was in Hunter x Hunter, she would have a really hard. Him and Hisoka would have a really hard love triangle going on.
Yeah, it would be that would be true.
Yeah, that'd be a great death battle. By the way, Hisoka versus Roswell. It's like kind of the Batman versus Superman debate.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think that'd be a cool like 1 minute melee or like death battle kind of thing. Because like both of them, I'm guessing Hisoka gets even more powerful after like the dark when they go to the Dark Island or whatever. But like you know his abilities are pretty cool. He's a resourceful guy. Where and like Rosario is like is definitely a powerful wizard or magician or whatever. And he seems kind of resourceful too. And they both wear the makeup to hide their inner self. And strangely enough, they're both kind of just serial
Yeah,
killers.
you're right. You're not wrong.
Oh jeez. Uh, I guess since we're like approaching like the end of the episode, um, there's a kind of few things. So, what do you think? I think okay, I'm just gonna come out with it. I think what Subaru did, the night Amelia was sleeping, was kind of
Yes.
stupid.
Oh,
Just drawing some raws.
let's talk about it. Let's
Very stupid in my opinion.
talk about it. That was so. Oh man,
I was like,
you had so many good theories, man. Like you said, he was talking to the banished wizard lady or whatever I forget the name is, like the banished elf lady in the forest. Like that would have been like decent, but I don't think she's even made an appearance at all.
no, no. Well, no, she has. She made an appearance. I think in the at the end when uh, thing, Garfield came back out of the trial. But yeah, I don't know. I felt that was like a a weak thing for him to leave. To just draw in the room like words of encouragement and stuff like that. It doesn't seem necessary. It doesn't. I don't know if it doesn't seem necessary. Well, it probably does. Yeah, to me, it doesn't seem necessary. Um, I feel like that seems like a weird thing to go do. It's weird to be like, hey, this person I love and support. Let me leave you now so I can write you a message at your test instead of supporting you right here and saying words of encouragement here. I gotta say it in there too.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just didn't make a lot of
and
sense to
then to
me.
risk your friend's life to make sure like you got that stuff done, and then you also made your You know, we just thought he had a plan to deal with this whole situation, so he doesn't have to basically be Roswald's like dog. But it seems like he has pretty much no plan.
But yeah, I just thought like that was like I don't know. I don't see why you would do that. I think like there was like probably other stuff you could do, but you know, hey, they weren't that way. It doesn't really break anything. I just think I didn't think him leaving was just like kind of dumb, but you know, that's whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
and you think he would have used
yeah,
that time to plan for, you know, the other impossible trial he has to face, which is dealing with the eye pokey lady that murdered him before.
yeah. Like I don't know. Like I mean, like if I saw a lady that like could move at the speed of sound and you know has multiple times has murdered me, I'd really be trying to game plan for this.
And who
You know
seems
what
to
I'm
be
saying? Like
unkillable.
uh seems to be like multiple characters has tried to kill this person multiple times and have failed. The redheaded knight tried to kill them. Beatrice tries to kill her. Amelia tries to kill her, and she just doesn't die. She just lives. Yeah. I found his like I didn't understand why he would do that, but you know, hey, the character decided to do that. It's fine. It doesn't break anything. I don't have any problems with it, but it kind of is like I feel like you could have been doing. I feel like you could have been using your time a little bit better, Subaru. I feel like there's other stuff you could focus on. You could have just like stayed in the room and like plan out how you're gonna dodge a whole bunch of man-eating beast and a lady with a sharp knife.
Yes, absolutely right. Moving on though, to moving on, Amelia makes it into the third trial, and
Yeah,
she,
yeah. Well, is this the third one or is this the first one?
I think it's the third one, right? Or
I have no idea.
is she? Because what's his name cleared the second trial, or Garfield cleared the second trial.
Hmm. I thought. Wait a minute. So I thought it's always dealing with like the person's past, if that makes sense. So it's always I don't know. I have no idea. Um, I thought I thought it was like you have to do past, present, and then future. And if someone goes through all three of those, they pass the trial, or is it just like we just need a group of people to pass?
Yeah, that's a little bit hard to tell. Because it seems like I don't know. It seems like it'd be one or the other, but it doesn't seem like whatever. It doesn't seem like Amelia is in the past right now. She's definitely having a
Yeah,
conversation with the Witch of Envy.
yeah. And I just want to, in that beginning of that conversation, the Witcher Indy came off like talking some mad
Yeah.
shit. She was like, "Yo, I can't believe you're coming back here. How dare you? Blah 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 blah." I don't know. It felt like someone just talking a whole bunch of shit to someone. Um, and I don't know, like she mentions like, oh, you were like a poor sight like last time. Is she talking about? Okay, I guess this is a question for you. Do you think when she's talking about last time, is she talking about the last time Amelia did the trial and failed it, or is she talking about the last time when like at the party when all the witches were together?
That's a good point. At first, that's what I thought, and then they revealed that uh, with Amelia's full memories, that she has come to realize that she is a daughter of the Witch of Envy. I think my thoughts towards that sort of evaporated a little bit, or at least for the time being.
Mm.
I think that she's just
Yeah,
talking about the trials because she is the person that created those trials. I think she's been foreseeing, like overseeing the trials from her
yeah,
grove.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, go on. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, yes, I agree with you. Like, at the end of the story, they're like, she says like she's like the daughter of a witch. Um, and she says like she wouldn't like. I don't know.
I think she
Let
said
me
she was the
rethink
daughter
this.
of the Witch of Envy. Well, I think she said that up front.
I don't think she says she's the daughter of the Witch of Envy.
Let me pull
I
this
think she
up.
said she was a daughter.
This is
I
very
think she
important.
says she's the. Huh?
This is very. Let us pull this up. This is very important.
Yeah, yeah. From what I remember, I thought she said she was the daughter of some witch, and she referenced herself as a witch as well. But let's go pull out the receipts. Echidna says like, "Why aren't you saying anything like witch doctor?"
Yeah. What does Amelia say at the end?
I got you. My name is simply Amelia. I am the frozen witch born in Elrond Forest. I won't give in to the malice of a fellow witch.
That's all she said.
Yep, and oh, wait, there's something else. I'm quite an insufferable woman after all.
Okay,
Then
that's.
she gives a cheeky smile.
I was mistaken. Oh, then that means she could be. She could be. Wait, did she say she's the daughter of a witch, or did? Hold on, repeat that back.
So, Echidna asks asks Amelia a question. She's like talking a whole bunch of shit, saying like, "Ah, you look like a fool," all this other stuff. And she says like, "Why didn't you say anything?" Like, she's saying, "Why don't you say anything?" Witch's daughter. Um, and then Amelia answers with like, "Hey, my name's Amelia. I am the frozen witch." Um, she tells her like where she was born, and then she says like, "Hey, I'm not gonna take any shit from you because I'm a witch too." Um, and that was kind of generally the last thing that happened in the episode.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I it definitely. Maybe I just put two and two together. So she could be a witch of. Yeah, I was kind of confused about that. If she could be the daughter of the Witch of Envy, she could be the Witch of Envy. Um, Although it kind of wouldn't go along with her powers. Also, what I think is kind of confusing is that in the movie, there seems to be, and also in the show they revealed there's like a bunch. So in the movie, they reveal that like in that forest, it's not just like Amelia that's in there. It's like there seems to be an entire sort of like village worth of like people that are just frozen, and
Hmm.
they're all elves.
Okay. Hmm. They're all elves.
Yes,
Hmm. Okay, okay. I really need to watch this movie. Um, yeah. Do you think this is like a village that the Witch of Envy like kind of set up for elves?
maybe they could all be clones or something, just something like similar to what the Witch of Greed has created.
Yeah. Yeah, so like yeah, I think I can read what you're saying with like the yeah, Amelia's probably the Witch of Envy's daughter. But like I guess my question would be like well, you could just say like oh, Amelia just has the Witch of Envy's powers because she's her daughter or clone or whatever. But like I guess my question kind of comes off to being like why does the Witch of Envy keep saving Subaru? Um you know what I'm trying to say like
Well, I was saying
if Amelia's not the
she
Witch of
doesn't
Envy,
seem to
why
have the Witch of Envy's power.
what is
She
that?
doesn't have the Witch of Envy's power. She uses like crystals and
Amelia.
yeah, she uses like Amelia uses like crystals and shit all the time. Or,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, if Amelia is the daughter of the Witch of Envy, why does the Witch of Envy have this relationship with Subaru?
yeah, I think that's.
Like, why does she keep?
And why would she be willing to kill Amelia in order to like keep Subaru, Subaru's secret about like the powers that she's given him under wraps?
Yeah, because like we know the Witch of Envy feels like she's closely like she's definitely feels like Subaru saved her. Subaru saved her in like a significant way. She loves him in a very strong way. But like, if this person's not Amelia, I'm just trying to figure out like who this person is, like, um, who would go that far.
Well, then that would just probably be she would just be a person of herself, the Witch of Envy. Wouldn't the Witch of Envy just be the Witch of Envy then?
Yeah, no, no, I'm saying like, but like, and when she was at the tea party, she was like, "Hey, you know, the reason like, I'm trying to like keep you safe for what you have done and like the love you have given me or whatever. So that's why I wanted you to keep living, right?" So this person saying like there's this relationship with her and Subaru, but we haven't even seen this person. Like I'm not saying like they can't be different people. I'm just trying to say like I wonder why the Witch of Envy is like so into Subaru. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Hmm.
if the Witch of Envy is not super, if the Witch of oh sorry yeah, if the Witch of Envy is not like a Amelia, um, there's another person that is super invested in Subaru, um, that we haven't even seen yet, and we probably will never see. Right? That could be just the thing. Like we don't know or whatever. But like it's interesting that like we if they are two different characters we haven't even met the character, right? Like we have no reason why she's super into Subaru at all.
Well, the reason also could be a reason before he even made it into the
Yeah,
world, because he had to be brought into the world by somebody. It seems more or less like that could be the Witch of
yeah,
Envy
yeah,
again.
I agree with you. I think the Witch of Envy brought him into the world and has like caused him this all this stuff and like is a main factor of that. I'm just saying like it's super interesting that like we still don't know pretty much jack shit about this person at all and like why she cares about him at
Yep.
all. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think this is interesting. Back to like the Amelia scene. I think it's interesting just because like, hey, we're learning more of like Amelia's backstory, and maybe if I ever watch the movie, I'll get an answer about her backstory or whatever. But I'm really interested in like what character shifts this happens to Amelia, because she is openly calling herself a witch now, and like I wonder if she's going to be like more like any different in a way. Because like I don't know, Amelia comes off as like a very innocent character, and maybe like um her being a witch is probably gonna take away from that. Because like the witches aren't aren't evil from the witches we saw. They're not evil, but they're not necessarily like great people either, or at least some of them.
Yeah, like she could take on that sort of like moral ambiguousness that the witches seem to have if she finally has access to her entire like all of her memories and like everything that that entails, which seems to be what her future is like, what's going to face her future. Or maybe we might see, an effect of her getting her wish, like what could happen in the future, and that might not be something that she might be able to handle. Um, or maybe not something that necessarily she might not be able to handle, but something that like might take a very harsh toll on her beliefs, and we might see her change drastically as a
Yeah.
character.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I just find it interesting. I'm very interested to see what happens in the next episode. I guess before we go into predictions, and like initial last thoughts or whatever. I guess like I have one more question. Do you feel like Amelia and Echidna have like this antagonistic relationship? Like I just get the feeling Echidna really doesn't like Amelia at all.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I get that. Whether or not that means that she has a connection to the Witch of Envy, or maybe she might be her mom might be a witch that like isn't even a part of this canon. She might be the Crocro's basketball of witches. Like there was a secret six witch that no one knew about, but they were the most important witch of all.
It's the wish that will like that allows people to make baskets. You have to get her blessings to make threes. Stephen Curry must be like in love with this witch because he makes threes all the time.
Yeah,
This witch loves Stephen Curry. If this witch exists, Roscoe, she's in love with Stephen Curry. Just got to say that right now.
the Witch of Threes. That would be pretty interesting.
That'll be funny. But yeah, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to watch this movie because I need to figure out what's going on. But for now, let's move on to our like our final thoughts and our predictions. So I guess like what are your final thoughts on this episode? Do you want to like give it a rating? What do you think about this episode? And then you can kind of go into your predictions of what's gonna happen in the next episode if you would like.
Yeah, I think I'm wondering now that I'm thinking about it if like maybe some of my confusion about the episode could be explained in one of those Rezero break times, like the little shorts that they have that they just
Those are pretty good.
don't air, where we receive our anime. Oh, okay. Well, moving on to reviews. This episode, there are a lot of interesting things in this episode. This episode also made me very angry, and I will give this episode um, one Garfield because I hate Mondays and I hate Garfield apparently.
All right, all right. Yeah, I think this episode was interesting. I think it's still doing that stuff that I was kind of mentioning in the episode earlier, where it's like feels like the show's going a little bit slow for me. Um, so it's not. This is by far not my favorite episode at all. I'd probably give it like 2 to 3 Garfields. But not regular Garfields. But I'm talking about giant Garfields, the honked out. I'm on steroids Garfield.
Yeah, that's not to say they're not good parts in this episode. There were a lot of interesting reveals. There were a lot of heartwarming moments, but all in all, I don't know. It was an episode. It got me through the week.
Yeah. Which got like I agree with you. Yeah, there's still a lot in this episode, and I think it does what Rezero does, and made me think about more questions. Um, it like had me a little bit even more intrigued in the story. Uh, but all right, so what are your predictions, Roscoe? Sweatpants, wet pants, sweatpants.
Uh,
What
my
do
pre-
you think?
my predictions are my predictions. I think that Garfield unfortunately is gonna tag along a little bit more as at least in this arc. I think he is going to be a very valuable piece in retaking Roswald's castle and dealing with the stabby stabby eye lady. I know her name. I know her name is Ursula, but I just refuse to call her that. She is the stabby stabby eye lady from now on until forever. I think Amelia may or may not have to deal with some of the consequences of what it means to be a witch. Whether or not she's able to make it to the castle, I don't know. I think possibly, possibly what might happen is I think that Subaru is going to leave Amelia there. No, I think she has to break the barrier unless they find some way to leave through there. He might leave there earlier, but I'm not sure if she's going to be there to retake the castle or not. I'd like her to be there. I think whatever sort of revelation she's going to get from this castle, not this castle, from this trial, is going to make her OP. We might see a power boost, maybe some special abilities. Maybe we might see Puck again, hopefully, to give some more clarification as to what's going on with that whole um, break of contract, which makes no sense if he's supposed to be the beast at the end. You can't just say I'm not gonna do the apocalypse. You can't just cancel the Puck apocalypse like that off screen, for that matter.
Which part? What if Puck was Amelia's eliminator? What if Puck was the eliminator? And like, since Puck's gone, she could actually use her real power.
That could be true. Uh, it does seem like that for certain. Amelia is Puck's limiter, for sure.
Oh fuck yeah. You die,
So like,
I am killing the world.
yeah, so it could have it could be it could work both ways.
Oh man.
But yeah, those are my predictions. What about you? Nobody.
Uh oh man. So I think let me think. Give me a second. I think that I think a big chunk of the next episode, probably the first half of it, is gonna be Amelia and Echidna talking, or Amelia and Echidna talking with the other witches. I think they're gonna have like a whole scene in there. And I think they're gonna talk about like kind of shame stuff that you were saying, like generally what does it mean to be a witch. Probably make some revelations about like how powerful Amelia is, or how not powerful she is, and like maybe even like get some more insight of like what their relationship is. I think there's gonna be like a whole episode. No, I think that most of the episode is gonna take place in that that the tea party kind of place. And I think Amelia's gonna probably negotiate with the Echidna to like make the barrier like go away, or she's gonna just like pass all the trials. Either way, they're gonna try to like knock out all these trials and this barrier. I think in next episode or the following episode. Um, I think like the second half of the episode is gonna be about like probably like you were saying. I think Subaru might try to slip out early to get a head start to saving the people at the people in the village and the people at the castle. I think it would make sense if Subaru goes a little bit early to go specifically to the village to like warn them. Probably like say like, hey, let's all go to the mansion. So like they're in a more central, easier to defend place. But yeah, I think those are my predictions. I think Amelia's gonna have a talk with Echidna or the other witches, and we're gonna find out some interesting stuff through there. Maybe she says, maybe even like one of the witches kind of like says like something like very ominous. Like she probably like they said like, oh yeah, you're gonna definitely lead to like the death of like everyone you care about around you. That's just kind of like the nature of a witch. I could easily see them saying that or whatever. And then the rest of the episode would probably be about like either Subaru making his way to the mansion, or making a plan for that, or Subaru actually getting there and starting to get his defenses up to fight Stabby Eye Lady that loves guts and her sidekick. I make mad. I make big good bad boys that eat people.
Lolita Repulsa.
Yeah.
Make my doggy grow.
Yeah. You're not wrong. But yeah, I think that's how those episodes are gonna go. But we will see. And if you somehow are listening to this, congratulations. You are cool. And thanks for listening. If you want to hear two random guys talking about ReZero some more, hit the subscribe or like button, or not. And uh, again, thanks for watching.
Yeah, make sure you lick that like button. Lick that like button. Or wait, no, don't lick the like button. It's not healthy.
It's not healthy at all. You shouldn't lick big old thumbs or little old thumbs. You shouldn't lick thumbs in general.
Yep. And if you made it to this point, like nobody said, thank you. Truly from the bottom of our hearts. You have bested the algorithm. And we will see you next time.
Alright, you take it easy.